Amar, why don't you kick us off?
Okay, thanks. So new CPI numbers come out tomorrow, and economists are forecasting an index of, I believe, 7.3% annually. And I was just wanting to ask, what do you see in the data right now that suggests inflation will fall quickly this year? And how confident are you that a decrease in inflation can occur without hurting demand in the economy?
Well, let me start with a little bit of a preview, well, we don't know the numbers. I know there are projections, but just as people are preparing to look at these numbers and prepare to report on the numbers. So first, when we look at tomorrow's data, what we're looking at is recent trends in inflation. So in November and December, price increases showed relative to the month before, slowed relative to the month before, and in January, they were down almost half from where they were in October. That's a sign of progress, that the inflationary increases are decreasing, I should say, month to month. And we'll be looking at that wage growth compared to inflation in January as well. What is also coming out tomorrow is annual data, right, which is, I think, what you're talking about. And so as we're looking at that, we expect a high year-over-year inflation rate reading in tomorrow's data, given what we know about the last year, right, and what we've seen over the last year. That's because year-over-year data largely reflects the price increases over the last year, as we've already talked about and we know about. It's not about the most recent trends, which I think is the important component for people to look at, right? There's monthly, and then there's also the annual data. So above 7%, as I think some are predicting, would not be a surprise, even though we don't know what the data is going to be. But looking at that, reading of it as we prepare for tomorrow is still consistent with the path, in our view, to go to your question, that leading outside forecasters continue to project that inflation is expected to decrease over the course and moderate over the course of this year. So that continues to be outside projections, even as we're preparing for the new data tomorrow. I think there was another part of your question, but I wanted to explain what people should prepare for.
Well, I guess with just getting back to how confident are you that a decrease can occur without hurting demand in the economy? Was the second part of the question.
Well, I would say, as you know, the Federal Reserve has purview over taking the independent approaches they choose to. And we certainly, as the president has said, he welcomes and supports their efforts to take steps, or their plans to take steps. In terms of our confidence, we again rely on what their projections are about the projection that inflation will come down, that it will moderate, and we are also continuing to take steps to continue to grow the economy, continue to address the needs that the American people have in the economy.